God is calling your name just like he did in the past. Imagine a young boy lying in the quiet darkness of an ancient house of worship. The world around him feels heavy with silence, the kind of silence that settles after a long day of serving and learning. His name echoes softly at first, pulling him from sleep. He stirs, thinking it must be his mentor calling for help. He runs to the older man, eager to serve, only to hear, "I didn't call you. Go back to bed." Again the voice comes, clear and personal. He jumps up once more, heart racing, only to be sent back. Then it happens a third time. Persistent, patient. Finally, the wise mentor understands and instructs the boy. If the voice calls again, say, "Speak, for your servant is listening." When the call returns, the boy answers with an open heart, and in that moment, everything changes. His life shifts from ordinary service to a divine purpose that would shape generations. That boy was Samuel, and God called his name with intention, just as he is calling yours today. Friend, this isn't just an old story from distant times. It's a living invitation. God still speaks into the quiet moments of our lives. He calls us personally, not with a generic shout to the crowd, but with our own name whispered or declared in ways only we can recognize. Maybe it comes in the stillness of early morning before the day rushes in. Perhaps it arrives through a restless night when sleep won't come and thoughts swirl like leaves in the wind. Or it might break through during a busy afternoon, a sudden sense of conviction or peace that stops you in your tracks. Think about how personal this is. In the hustle of modern life, with notifications pinging and responsibilities pulling from every direction, it's easy to mistake God's voice for something else. We might think it's just our own worries, or advice from a friend, or even coincidence. Samuel did the same thing at first. He ran to Eli because the call felt familiar, like a human voice he already knew. But God was patient. He kept calling until the boy learned to discern the difference. That same patience is extended to you right now. God knows your name. He knows the dreams you've buried, the fears you carry silently, the places where you feel unqualified or overlooked. He called Moses when he was tending sheep in the wilderness, feeling like a failure after fleeing his past. "Moses, Moses." The voice came from the burning bush that wasn't consumed by fire. It was holy ground, and Moses had to remove his sandals in reverence. God wasn't deterred by Moses' excuses about his speech or his history. He had a plan that would lead an entire people out of bondage, and he called Moses by name to step into it. In the same way, God calls you beyond your past mistakes or current limitations. Maybe you feel like you're in your own wilderness season, stuck in a job that drains you, a relationship that hurts, or a season of waiting that seems endless. The voice might come as a gentle nudge to forgive someone who wounded you deeply. It could be a quiet prompting to step out and help someone in need, even when you don't feel you have much to offer. Or perhaps it's an invitation to return to faith after drifting away, to open the pages of Scripture again, or spend time in prayer with honesty instead of performance. Listen closely. God's call is rarely loud like thunder. Often it's like a still small voice after the wind and earthquake have passed, as it was for the prophet Elijah. It requires us to slow down, to create space amid the noise. Turn off the distractions for a few minutes each day. Sit in silence and ask, "Lord, are you speaking to me?" Samuel's response became the model. "Speak, for your servant is listening." That simple declaration opens the door. It says, "I'm here, ready, willing to hear whatever you have for me, even if it challenges my comfort." When God calls your name, He is reminding you that you are not forgotten. You are seen. In a world that reduces people to numbers, likes, or roles, the Creator of the universe knows you intimately. He formed you in the womb, breathed life into your lungs, and placed unique gifts inside you. Those gifts might be hidden right now, like seeds waiting for the right season to sprout. A talent for encouraging others, a heart for justice, creativity that can bring beauty into broken places, or quiet strength that holds families together. God wants to activate those for His glory and for the good of those around you. But hearing the call is only the beginning. Responding matters. Samuel didn't negotiate or delay once he understood. He said yes, and his obedience led to a lifetime of speaking truth, anointing kings, and guiding a nation. Your yes might look different. It could mean leaving behind a habit that's holding you back. It might involve reaching out to mend a strained relationship. For some, it's surrendering control and trusting God with an uncertain future. Maybe a career change, a move, or simply showing up consistently in small acts of faithfulness. I want you to picture this. You are not too far gone. No matter how many times you've missed the call before, God calls again. His mercy is new every morning. If guilt whispers that you're unworthy, remember that Jesus came for the broken, the lost, and the imperfect. On the cross, he took every failure so that you could stand clean before the Father. The same power that raised him from the dead is available to strengthen you when you feel weak. Sometimes the call comes through pain. A health scare, a financial struggle, or the ache of loneliness can become the soil where God's voice grows clearer. In those moments, he isn't punishing, he's inviting you closer. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. That rest isn't escape from life, but peace in the middle of it, anchored in knowing the one who holds tomorrow. Let me speak directly to your heart today. If you're feeling distant from God, start where you are. Open your Bible and read the stories of those he called. Abraham leaving his homeland, David the shepherd boy becoming king, the disciples dropping their nets to follow Jesus. Notice how each one heard their name in a personal way and how their lives expanded far beyond what they imagined. God is calling your name in this season for a reason. Perhaps to comfort someone who is hurting, to stand for truth when it's unpopular, to raise your family with faith and love, or to use your story to point others toward hope. Your ordinary days can become extraordinary when surrendered to him. Take a moment right now. Close your eyes if you can. Breathe deeply and whisper, "Lord, I am here. Speak to me. I want to listen." Don't rush it. Let the words sink in. He may not answer with an audible voice every time, but he speaks through his word, through wise counsel from trusted believers, through circumstances that align, and through the peace that settles in your spirit when you're on the right path. Remember, the call isn't always to something big and visible. Sometimes it's to faithfulness in small things, to love your neighbor, to pray without ceasing, to work with integrity even when no one is watching. Those quiet obediences build a life of lasting impact. If you've never truly responded to God's invitation before, today can be the day. He calls you to relationship first, to know him through his Son Jesus Christ, who bridged the gap our mistakes created. Accept that gift of grace. It's free, but it changes everything. For those who have walked with him for years, listen afresh. Seasons change, and new assignments come. Don't assume yesterday's obedience covers today's call. Stay humble. Stay hungry to hear his voice. God is patient, but the opportunity to respond is precious. Don't let fear or doubt drown it out. Step forward like Samuel did. Say yes with courage. Your story is still being written, and the author knows exactly how to weave your name into his grand narrative of redemption and hope. As you go about your week, pay attention. In the laughter of children, in the beauty of a sunset, in the challenge of a difficult conversation, God may be speaking. Keep your heart open. Journal what you sense he's saying. Share it with a friend who encourages your faith. Act on it in small steps. You are loved with an everlasting love. The God who called Samuel, Moses, and countless others throughout history is the same God calling you now. He sees your potential. He believes in what he created you to be. Will you answer? Speak, Lord. Your servant is listening. Let that become your daily posture. In the morning when you wake, in the evening when you rest, and in all the moments in between. The voice that spoke creation into existence is calling your name with love, purpose, and power. Answer him today. Your greatest adventures with God are just ahead. The voice of the Creator is not a relic of the past meant to be kept in a dusty book on a shelf. It is a present-day reality that resonates with the same frequency as it did in the days of ancient prophets. When you feel a sudden tug in your soul, or a realization that your life is meant for more than the routine of the day-to-day, that is not an accident. That is the divine breaking through the noise of your existence. It is the persistent, loving echo of the one who designed every detail of your being. Consider the nature of a call. When someone knows you well, they do not need to shout. They only need to whisper your name to grab your attention. God knows the cadence of your heart better than you know it yourself. He knows the rhythms of your fears and the melody of your deepest desires. He calls you not to burden you with impossible tasks, but to invite you into a partnership of transformation. He sees the person you are becoming even when you are currently overwhelmed by the person you think you are. You might be looking at your circumstances and feeling as though you are unqualified. You might point to your past, your lack of resources, or your current emotional state as evidence that you are not the right person for such a calling. But history is filled with people who felt exactly the same way. When the call came to them, they did not respond with confidence in their own abilities. They responded by acknowledging the sovereignty of the caller. It is never about your strength being enough. It is about your willingness to be the vessel through which his strength is displayed. There is a profound difference between hearing a sound and listening to a voice. Hearing is passive, but listening is an act of the will. It requires you to set aside your own agenda, to silence the distractions of your digital devices, and to stop looking for validation in the approval of others. When you choose to listen, you are making a radical decision to prioritize the truth of your Creator above the opinions of the world. This is the starting point of a journey that leads to genuine peace. Many people spend their lives running from one pursuit to another, searching for fulfillment in achievements, relationships, or possessions, only to find that the hunger remains. That hunger is a signal. It is your soul recognizing that it was made for connection with the infinite. The restlessness you feel is not a failure of character. It is a sign that you were created for a higher purpose. When you finally stop to listen, you will find that the voice you have been seeking has been there all along, waiting for you to turn toward it. This invitation is not exclusive. It is not reserved for the perfect or the spiritually elite. It is extended to the brokenhearted, the confused, the exhausted, and the hopeful. It is an invitation to come as you are, to leave behind the masks you wear for the world, and to stand in the light of absolute truth. When you stand in that light, you find that you are not defined by your failures, but by the grace that washes them away. You are defined by the love that pursued you through your darkest valleys. Think of the impact of a single yes to this call. When you choose to align your life with divine purpose, you begin to see your world differently. Your interactions with others become opportunities for grace. Your work becomes a service that contributes to something far greater than a paycheck. Your challenges become opportunities to develop character and resilience. You stop being a spectator in your own life and start being an active participant in a story of redemption. There is a quiet power in the surrendered life. It is the power that does not need to force its way, but rather flows with the wisdom of the eternal. When you walk in this path, you will find that doors begin to open, not because you push them, but because you were guided to the right place at the right time. You will find that the heavy burdens you have been carrying are replaced by a peace that passes understanding. This is the promise for anyone who truly listens and responds. Do not fear the transition. Walking away from the familiar is always intimidating, but the one who calls you is the one who leads you. He is the shepherd who goes before you, the light that guides your feet, and the shelter that protects you. You are never left to navigate the unknown alone. His presence is the constant factor that remains steady through every change and every season of your life. Take comfort in the fact that your worth is not tied to your productivity or your status. It is fixed in the fact that you are known by name. You are a unique creation, designed with purpose and equipped for a journey that only you can take. Every experience you have had, every lesson you have learned, and every scar you have earned has prepared you for this moment. Your life is not a series of random events. It is a carefully curated path toward a meaningful destination. As you reflect on this, let go of the need to have every answer before you take the first step. Faith is not about having all the details. It is about trusting the author. It is about taking the next right step with the light you have, knowing that more will be revealed as you move forward. The beauty of this journey is found in the deepening of your trust, day by day, moment by moment. Today is a threshold. You stand between who you have been and who you are being called to become. The invitation is active and urgent. It is a call to step out of the shadows of doubt and into the reality of your identity. You are chosen, you are equipped, and you are being summoned to play your part in a much larger design. Take a deep breath and center your heart. Let go of the noise, the hurry, and the pressure to perform. In the quiet of this moment, acknowledge that you are ready. Even if you feel uncertain, even if your hands are shaking, even if you don't feel ready at all, just say it. Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. This is the prayer that changes everything. This is the moment your life truly begins to align with the purpose for which you were created. You are ready to step into the calling that has been waiting for you all along. The journey you are embarking on is not a straight line, but it is a steady climb. When you surrender your agenda to the higher purpose, you will find that the obstacles which once seemed insurmountable now become stepping stones. You start to view your life through a lens of divine perspective. Where you once saw a dead end, you now see a detour designed to build your character. Where you once felt rejected, you now recognize that you were being redirected toward a place where your unique gifts would be truly valued and used. Think of the patience required. This process can be uncomfortable, and there may be times when you want to stop or turn back. Furthermore, recognize the company you keep in this life. When you answer the call, you become part of an ancient, ongoing lineage of seekers and believers who have all had to learn the same lesson. Obedience is the highest form of trust. You are not walking this path in isolation. The same grace that sustained the giants of faith throughout history is available to you, in equal measure, right now. You have the same access to wisdom, the same promise of guidance, and the same assurance that you are never truly alone. Consider how your daily actions ripple outward. When you are rooted in the conviction that you are living a life of purpose, your influence changes. People around you will notice a difference. They may not understand the source of your peace or the reason for your steady hope, but they will be drawn to it. Your life becomes a living testimony. You do not need to be a preacher from a pulpit to impact the world. You only need to be an authentic witness to the transformation occurring within you. Your kindness in a harsh environment, your integrity in a dishonest world, and your courage in the face of uncertainty are all part of the answer you give to God. There is also a profound freedom in realizing that you do not have to hold the world on your shoulders. The weight of the future, the anxiety over outcomes, and the pressure to have everything figured out, these are not yours to carry. When you are truly listening, you learn to cast your cares upon the one who holds the stars in their places. You learn the art of resting in his sovereignty. This is not passive resignation, it is active trust. It is doing your part with excellence and diligence while leaving the results in the hands of the one who sees the beginning from the end. As you move forward, guard the intimacy of this relationship. The world will try to pull you back into the cycle of noise and busyness. It will try to convince you that your worth is found in what you produce or how you are perceived. Do not listen to that narrative. Instead, carve out your sacred space daily. Revisit that quiet place where you first truly said, "Speak, for your servant is listening." Let that be your anchor. No matter how chaotic your circumstances become, that foundation will keep you grounded. You are being invited into a story that is vastly larger than your individual life. You are a crucial thread in a cosmic tapestry. Your response, your choice to follow, to forgive, to serve, and to love, matters. It leaves an impression that lasts far beyond your time on this earth. Do not underestimate the power of one life fully surrendered to the divine. You have been given a voice to speak truth, hands to heal, and a heart to love in ways that no one else can. The call is still echoing. It is not fading. It is gaining clarity as you align your frequency to it. The hesitation you feel is only the natural response of the human ego, but your spirit knows the truth. Your spirit knows that this is what you were designed for. It is the homecoming you have been looking for. It is the peace that settles deep in your bones, the clarity that clears the fog, and the fire that fuels your actions with genuine compassion. So, let this be your commitment. Every day, start fresh. Every day, offer yourself as a vessel. Do not look back at the failures of yesterday with regret, but look forward with the expectation of what is possible today. Your past was the preparation, but your present is the opportunity. You are in a season of divine appointment. Embrace it with everything you have. Walk forward with your head held high, knowing that the one who started this good work in you is faithful to complete it. Your life is a message of hope in a world that desperately needs it. The call you heard is not a command to be obeyed out of fear. It is an invitation to be accepted out of love. Say yes again, and again, and again. Your life is unfolding exactly as it should, and your greatest chapters are yet to be written. The author of your story has already finished the final page, and it is a masterpiece of grace. Keep walking, keep listening, and keep trusting. You are exactly where you need to be. Consider the way the light begins to break at the edge of the horizon long before the sun itself becomes visible. That is how the call often begins in your life. You may not see the full picture yet. You may not know exactly where the path leads or what the final outcome will look like, but you feel the shift in the atmosphere. You feel the dawning of a new awareness. That faint light is enough to move forward. It is the guidance you need to take the very next step, and as you do, more of the way will be revealed. Do not let the complexity of your modern life blind you to the simplicity of this relationship. It is not about complicated rituals or achieving a state of perfection before you can speak. It is about a relationship, pure and simple. Just as you would talk to a trusted friend, talk to the Creator. Be honest about your fears. Be transparent about your confusion. Be bold in your requests for guidance. There is no aspect of your life, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, that is outside of His care. When you bring the entirety of your life into the conversation, you find that the silence is replaced by a profound, abiding presence. Remember that there is a difference between being busy and being productive in your purpose. You can fill every waking hour with activity and still miss the heartbeat of your calling. True productivity, in the eyes of the divine, is found in alignment. When you are doing what you were created to do, there is a certain grace that covers your efforts. You find that you have enough energy, enough wisdom, and enough patience because you are drawing from a well that does not run dry. This is a time for you to cultivate a heart that is sensitive to the promptings of the Spirit. It may be a thought that keeps returning, a word of wisdom that comes at just the right time, or a sudden opportunity to show kindness. These are not coincidences. These are the divine breadcrumbs left for you to follow. Pay attention to the small things. The big movements in your life will always be built upon the foundation of how you handle the quiet, daily moments. There is a unique beauty in the way your story is being woven. You have been placed in your specific time, your specific community, and your specific circumstances for a purpose that only you can fulfill. No one else has your exact combination of experiences, struggles, and strengths. When you say yes to the call, you are occupying the space you were intended to fill. You are bringing a light to corners of the world that only you can reach. That is why your response is so critical. It is not just about your personal growth. It is about the impact you have on the collective story of humanity. As you look toward the future, release the need for control. The most beautiful chapters of a life are often those that were not planned by the individual, but were guided by a higher hand. Trust that the one who is calling your name also knows the way ahead. He has already walked the path you are currently on. He knows the obstacles, the valleys, and the mountaintops. You are being invited to walk in the confidence that you are never on your own. Embrace the stillness. In a world that is constantly screaming for your attention, the ability to be still is a superpower. It is in the stillness that you hear the whisper. It is in the stillness that your soul recovers its rhythm. Make space for it, not as a chore, but as a privilege. It is your time to be refreshed, to be reminded of who you are, and to hear the voice that calls you by name. Your journey is a testament to the fact that you are never truly lost, even when you feel like you are wandering. You are being guided. You are being pursued by a love that does not know how to give up. Every step of your journey is part of the preparation for the work you are called to do. Embrace the process, trust the timing, and stay faithful to the voice that is calling you. Your life is an ongoing act of faith, and you are doing exactly what you are meant to do. Keep going, for the one who calls you is walking beside you every single step of the way. There is a quiet strength that begins to settle in your spirit when you finally stop trying to outrun your own destiny. For too long, you may have treated your life like a puzzle you had to solve entirely on your own, piece by exhausting piece. But the reality is that the picture is already drawn. You are not tasked with creating the blueprint. You are tasked with living into the design. When you release the burden of being the architect of your own existence, you suddenly find the freedom to be the masterpiece. Consider the times you felt a persistent tug to reach out to someone, to change your routine, or to speak a word of encouragement when it would have been easier to stay silent. Those were not mere impulses. They were the gentle nudges of a divine hand guiding your day. Each time you follow that nudge, you strengthen the connection. You learn the language of the Spirit. It is a language of intuition, peace, and sudden clarity that bypasses the logic of the mind and speaks directly to the soul. You might wonder how you will know for sure if it is truly the voice of God. The answer lies in the fruit it produces in your life. Does the call bring you closer to peace, or does it leave you frantic? Does it encourage you to love more deeply, or does it isolate you from others? The voice of the Creator always aligns with truth, love, and growth. It will never ask you to compromise your character or to lose your way. If the direction you are feeling brings a deep, underlying sense of rightness, even if it is difficult or requires sacrifice, you can trust it. There is a profound healing that happens when you answer. Many of the internal wounds you carry, the feelings of inadequacy, the fear of not being enough, the lingering pain of past mistakes, begin to lose their power when they are brought into the light of this relationship. You are no longer defined by your shortcomings. You are defined by the one who loves you enough to call your name. His perspective on your life is the only one that truly matters, and he sees you as capable, chosen, and deeply valuable. Do not let the fear of what others might think keep you from answering. The world will always have an opinion on how you should live, what you should prioritize, and who you should be. But those voices are fleeting. The voice calling your name is eternal. It is the voice that set the foundations of the earth, and it is the voice that whispers peace into the storms of your own heart. When you learn to prioritize that singular voice, the opinions of the world lose their volume. You become unshakable. As you walk forward, keep your eyes on the horizon. Do not fixate on the ground right in front of your feet, which can often be rough or uncertain. Look at the goal. Look at the purpose. You are being shaped for something greater than your current comfort zone. The stretching you feel is not a punishment. It is an expansion. You are being made larger on the inside so that you can hold more of the grace, wisdom, and strength required for the next season. Remember that obedience is rarely about a grand gesture. It is about the consistency of small things. It is in the prayer you whisper before you start your work. It is in the patience you show when you are frustrated. It is in the honesty you bring to your relationships. Every small act of surrender is a massive act of faith. You are building a life of integrity, and that foundation will hold firm regardless of the changes the future brings. The invitation remains open. It is never revoked. Even if you have drifted, even if you have ignored the call for a long time, the moment you turn back, you find the door already unlatched. There is no distance too great for that voice to cross to reach you. There is no situation too dark for that light to penetrate. You are the object of a pursuit that knows no boundaries. So, walk into this day with a new awareness. Listen for the whisper. Expect the guidance. And when you feel that familiar tug, do not overthink it. Just respond. Say yes to the next small thing. You are living a life that is being guided, watched over, and deeply cherished. You are not just existing. You are participating in a divine narrative. You are known, you are called, and you are ready. The adventure is already unfolding. Keep listening. Keep saying yes. Your life is becoming exactly what it was meant to be. The transformation that occurs when you truly align with this divine frequency is like a river finding its way to the ocean. There is a momentum that begins to build, a natural flow that replaces the frantic splashing of your own efforts. You start to realize that you were never meant to carry the weight of your own salvation or your own success. The call you are hearing is an invitation to lay down the heavy armor you've worn to protect yourself from the world and instead put on the light of a truth that has already won the battle. Think about the way a compass needle behaves. It might spin and flicker when surrounded by magnets and metal, but once those distractions are cleared, it points toward a true north that never changes. Your heart is that needle. The magnets are the opinions, the social media feeds, the cultural pressures, and the internal doubts that keep you spinning in circles. But when you create silence, your soul naturally pivots toward the eternal. That pull you feel towards something deeper is not an illusion. It is the most real thing about you. It is your spiritual orientation asserting itself. As you step into this deeper level of listening, do not be surprised if the world around you seems to shift. When your internal compass is set, your external environment begins to harmonize with it. You will find yourself in conversations that seem perfectly timed to your questions. You will encounter people who need exactly the wisdom you just learned. These are not mere luck or random encounters. They are the coordination of a higher intelligence that uses your willing heart as a focal point for good. You become a conduit for a peace that is not your own, and in giving it away, you find that you have even more of it. Consider the depth of the grace that is being offered. It is a grace that doesn't just forgive your past, but actually uses it. Every detour you took, every mistake you made, and every season you spent running away is being woven into the texture of your current calling. Your scars become your credentials. They allow you to speak to others who are still in the dark with an authority that someone who has never struggled could never possess. God does not waste anything. He takes the fragments of a broken life and creates a mosaic that tells a story of restoration and hope. This path requires a different kind of courage, not the courage of a warrior charging into battle, but the courage of a child trusting a parent in the dark. It is the bravery of being vulnerable. It is the strength found in saying, "I do not know the way, but I know the one who does." This humility is the secret door to true power. When you stop trying to be the source of your own strength, you gain access to a reservoir that is infinite. You can face the challenges of your day not with a clenched jaw, but with an open hand. There is a rhythm to this life that you are now entering. It is a rhythm of breathing in the grace and breathing out the service. It is a cycle of resting in the presence and then moving in the purpose. One cannot exist without the other. If you only move without resting, you will burn out. If you only rest without moving, you will stagnate. But when you listen to the voice, he teaches you the pace. He shows you when to push forward and when to be still. He teaches you how to work from a place of rest rather than working to find rest. Be patient with yourself as you learn to discern this voice more clearly. It is a relationship that grows deeper with time and consistency. Just as you learn the subtle tones and inflections of a loved one's voice, you will learn the subtle ways the divine communicates with you. It might be a persistent peace that settles over a difficult decision. It might be a sudden flash of insight that solves a problem you've wrestled with for weeks. It might be a feeling of deep compassion for someone you previously ignored. Trust these movements. They are the signature of the Spirit on your heart. You are living in a historic moment. The world is full of noise, division, and fear, and in the middle of it all, you are being called to be a different kind of presence. You are being called to be a person of the still small voice. Your life is a reminder to everyone you meet that there is something more, something higher, and something profoundly loving that is active in the world today. You don't have to shout to be heard. You only have to be authentic. As you conclude this time of reflection and move back into the activities of your day, carry this awareness with you. The call hasn't ended. It is ongoing. It is in the very next breath you take. It is in the very next person you see. It is in the very next thought you have. Stay in the posture of Samuel. Keep your heart open and your spirit attentive. You are participating in something beautiful, something ancient, and something that will last forever. Go forward with the confidence that you are exactly who you are supposed to be, right where you are supposed to be. The one who knows your name has gone before you to prepare the way. All that is left for you to do is to keep walking, keep listening, and keep saying yes. Your life is a beautiful response to an eternal call. Be at peace, for you are home.